Figured we'd talk a little bit about point shooting. For those of you who don't know, point shooting or intuitive shooting is basically, I guess, the concept of where someone is up on you so fast or so quickly or just so close that you don't necessarily have time to use your sights to put on the target, that you just, you draw and you fire. Probably out of all of the pistol classes that I've attended, seems to be it's about a 50-50 split. Most instructors try to preach that you always want to use your sights, always focus on the front sight, and and that's all well and good, and I definitely agree with that. But some of them question whether or not, because of human nature, we tend to threat focus. So a lot of us have go ahead and do drills to see where we're at, kind of, when it comes to point shooting, because you can train and train and train and practice, but when the time comes that you get attacked, or you have to actually pull your gun, it's a good idea to know, I suppose, where you're at when it comes to point shooting, to where if you have a good enough hand-eye coordination to where you can either even do it. So this was my target from last week. I forgot to bring my camera, no big deal, and this was pretty close. This was only from about 3 yards or so. I usually like to practice between 3 and 5 yards. So I figured today I would use a little bit of a smaller target and move back to about 5 yards to see if, just kind of see where I'm at. Again, ideally you always want to try to actually use your sights, use your front sight, put your front sight on the target, but I think it's kind of hard to gain a measure of a person when the time comes to where you actually might have to pull your gun. So I think it's just kind of a good skill to at least practice every once in a while, just to kind of see where you're at. And I figured I would bring you guys along for the ride, and we'll see how we do on this smaller target. All right, we're back at about 5 yards or so. And one thing I kind of forgot to mention was, you guys probably want to, if you're going to practice this and actually put the work in, put time in to do this, I would suggest just dressing normally. Don't wear like an outside the waistband or race race gear setup. Just just go with your normal concealed carry. Do this from concealment, and actually, I don't know, try to push yourselves and challenge yourself. Like I said, we're just at 5 yards for now. I'll probably back up. Usually I finish between 10. I don't really trust myself past 10 yards or so when it comes to point shooting, but we'll see what we do. I'll be going for the upper thoracic region of the target. So whenever I draw, I'll be focusing on the 8 without using my sights. Alright, so we will go and take a look, see how good we did. Okay, not so good today. So I moved back 2 yards and my shots seemed to be kind of all over the place. Started off pretty well, then I started pulling them to the left and actually sent one over his right shoulder. So, oh well. I figured I'd show you the target no matter what. You know, this is definitely something that you can't cheat, and if you flub, definitely should work on it. Alright, I figured I would change the shot angle so you can kind of see what I'm working with the draw. And you know, sometimes you're going to mess up your draw, whether your shirt gets in the way or whatever, but that's just something you got to work through. So I'll do one more mag and we'll wrap this video up. Alright, let's take a look at the target and see if we did any better. Okay, so the first mag that I ran through this on this drill was my first mag of the day. So I tend to kind of pull some out, and I missed one. Looks like I missed another one. Second go around, it looks like I tightened them up pretty well and brought them to where I want to go. So again, this is just something that may be good for you guys to practice. I don't practice it too often. I always try to use my front sight, but I think it's a pretty good skill to learn, or at least occasionally, you know, spend some time on. But not too bad. Like I said, that's kind of my limit, 5 yards. I don't know if I would feel comfortable if you know, exercising point shooting in a real situation, if I could help it, much past say 3 to 5 yards. But a lot of times instructors will have you practice this really up close, like within a yard or so, and I think you're pretty good, you're pretty safe when it comes to distances that close. But anyway guys, that's it. That's all I got for you today, so see you around.